So today I'm going to show you how a piano works. I'm going to do it quicker than the last time I recorded it and deleted it. So here's my model. These are the important parts. This is called the action. So this is the key, and it sits on this balance rail. The balance rail helps the key maintain its balance, obviously, and helps it continue to, when you take your finger off, helps it reset. This is really hard to do. So this bottom piece here is called the whippen, including this part. Its function is to move the hammer to take the damper off, and as the hammer strikes and comes back, this piece here is called the back check, and it holds the hammer away from the string. This piece here, its function is actually to physically raise the hammer, as you see when this comes up, and then it slips off, and that allows the hammer to hit and bounce back. And so this is a really central focus to regulation when we regulate the piano. We want to make sure that this is sliding off perfectly and coming back perfectly, and that allows for repeats in notes, like William Tell's Overture, the one you'll recognize goes ba-ba-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bum-bum, ba-da-bum, 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 bum-bum. A pianist, when they play, will strike with their fingers 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that, and they do it really fast. Ba-da-dum, 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 bum-bum, ba-da-dum, 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 bum-bum. And so that makes repeated notes. This isn't a very well regulated model at this point. You'll see, like, I can push the note down, and then I have to go all the way back to right there before it's gonna, see, that won't strike the string. The hammer won't strike the string. You have to go all the way back. That's a pain. You don't want that. You'll notice that most pianos only have to rise about that much, and you can play again. So anyway, key comes over, pushes up the whippen. The whippen, at that point, pushes up the hammer. The hammer strikes the string, comes back, and is held in place by, there we go, the back check. Then this part right here, you'll see this little silver piece. Looks like a spoon. That pushes on the damper lever and raises the damper off of the string and allows it to continue to vibrate. That's also why the hammer has to come away like that, because it allows the string to continue to vibrate. And then once you let go of the string, then the damper closes on the string and the vibration stops. Sustain pedal, its whole job is to hold this out. So there will be like a mechanism here that when you push the pedal, it pushes it up, or right here, it pulls it towards, and that will lift the damper up and allow all the strings to resonate. That's pretty much it. That's all the important things. Wow, that was quick. Okay, so a string, it's like the size of my pinky, let's say. It's a big string. That string can vibrate, but how much air is that actually moving? It's not moving very much air. And the air is what is going to vibrate and then vibrate your ear and allow you to hear the music. So on any instrument, any string instrument, a harpsichord, a guitar, a violin, mandolin, anything like that, there is what's called a soundboard. And a soundboard, this is a clipboard, but it's close. A soundboard is like this. So the string vibrates, and then there's a bridge here. Pretend my Sharpie is a piece of wood. I dropped it. Okay. Pretend this is a bridge. The string runs across the bridge like this. So it's actually not touching the soundboard, but it's vibrating, and as it's vibrating, it vibrates the bridge, which then vibrates the clipboard, and the clipboard is going to shake, and that's going to move more air, which will contact your ears. So that's the importance of a soundboard. And you'll see the violin is the one that has the little F holes in it that are shaped like that. It's got the bridge right there that goes down. So the strings will connect to the bottom, go up a bridge, and then up the plate. And that's how they play. They bow across, vibrate the strings with the bow. The string will vibrate that bridge, which in turn vibrates that top plate, which makes noise inside the little compartment, and the noise comes out to you. The same thing with the guitar, but I won't explain that. So the next thing I want to show you, these are my drawings from the last video. That was too long. The next thing I want to show you really quick, I need my marker for. Where'd it go? There you go. So the middle A is what we call A440. That will vibrate at 440 beats per second. That is right here. So it will vibrate in this whole pattern right here, vibrate the whole string. But it will also subdivide into half, into thirds, into like fifths, bunch of different things. And that's more in the realm of harmonics, which I'll do a video on. I don't want to get too stuck on those subdivisions. But basically, you will be able to, if you play an A really hard and hold it, then you can hear other notes within that note because the string is subdividing, and those are called harmonics. As you can see, if this is vibrating right here as a whole at A440, and this is also vibrating right here like that, it's dividing directly in half, then that means it's dividing twice as fast. And what does that sound like? Well, that sounds like an octave above. It will sound like A880, which I've depicted right here. And then that 880 can also be subdivided into another octave. That will be 1660, or something like that. Oh well, nah. Anyway, so you can also half a note to get the octave below it. So A440 can be divided by 2 to get A220 or A110. That tells you what's below. There's a number, it's the 12th root of 2. I'll write that down. 12th root of 2. That is a mathematical constant that allows us to subdivide an octave. When you subdivide the octave into 12 pieces, because it's the 12th root here, that allows you to determine the individual notes between the A's. So as a piano tuner, I'll come and I'll tune A440, A880, A220, and the rest of the A's, and then I will use this number right here, 1.05, which is the 12th root of 2. There's numbers after it. I can't remember them. Doesn't really matter. If you times 440 by the 12th root of 2, you'll get the next note. You'll get the value of the next note, which would be A sharp. And it's like 463 or something like that. I can't remember. But that's what this number is for, so that when we go through, we can say, okay, now if we want to subdivide it perfectly, we say 440 times the 12th root of 2 on our calculator, and that will show us. Most people have it memorized because they've done it so much. And that puts the piano into what's considered a well temperament. A well temperament was invented by Johann Sebastian Bach, who is a famous pianist. You know, if you play piano, if you listen to classical music, you know who he is. So he invented what's called the well temperament, which subdivided the octave into 12 perfect tones, and then he put them on the piano behind me, not on this particular piano, but that allows you to play Mary Had a Little Lamb in A, and it sounds exactly the same, except a little higher in pitch in E or D or G or any of those other keys that you can possibly play in. It sounds the same because the intervals between each note are exactly the same. Back before Bach did that, in the harpsichord and the clavier, something like that, was ill temperament or poor temperament, different, whatever you want to call it, has different names. But that basically said like the difference between this was maybe the 12th root of 2 and this was like the 12.5 root of 2 or something like that. So the differences between the subdivisions were different. So if you played in C major, it might actually sound minor, and if you played in C sharp major, then it might have a completely different sound. It could be a major scale or a minor scale or completely different because of the way that the temperament was set up. So thanks to Bach, we have the modern music tonality, and that has influenced everyone who's come after. There are more modern composers like Bartók who do semitones, which are like, instead of doing a half step up to the next note, it'll be like a quarter step up, and then, you know, kind of weird, experimenting with reinventing the piano, with reinventing the tonal structure of all of our music. So curse him. Anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent there. So if you take the 440 and you times it by the 12th root of 2, that gives you the next note. If you divide it by the 12th root of 2, that gives you the next note down. You can continue to times your answer by the 12th root of 2, and that will continue to tell you what the frequency at which your note is supposed to vibrate. And piano tuners can then use their tuning machines to tell them exactly where that note is vibrating now, and they can raise it to that pitch. So they do that with one string on each of the notes, and then they do what's called a unison to make the outer two strings match the inner note. That's the basics of tuning a piano, how it's done, the methodology. Anyway, that center octave where you always start out playing piano, the middle C and going up to G, so that A to A right there, piano tuners start on A for whatever reason. The A to A is called the temperament octave, and that allows us to establish the temperament, and then, like I said, you know, we can do the 12th root of 2 to get A sharp, and then B sharp, and then C, and then we just do times that by 2 to get an octave above, or divide it by 2 to get an octave below. And in that fashion, we tune all that octave, and then we just multiply or divide by 2 to get the exact number of hertz or beats per second for each note. So that's all I have for today. I have a bunch of time on my hands, so I'm going to record a bunch of different videos. Have the videos all written down here. But I'm only going to post one a week, so stay tuned and we can learn more about pianos. My wife suggested that I do a couple really short videos, just like couple minutes, with facts about piano. So I'll do a short 3-minute or 4-minute history about Cristofori, who's the guy who invented the piano. I'll do some information on harmonics a little later, probably a different day when I have a guitar, and I can demonstrate the strings vibrating and at the different pitches. It's easier to do on a guitar than it is on a piano. I have a bunch of different things set up, so stay in touch, and I hope you enjoy.